Hello and welcome back to the Canaries Chat channel. Today we have another managerial merry-go-round video. We had obviously posted a recent update a few days ago. There's a few new names in the hat and a few names that we mentioned in the last video. There's some updates on those. So let's get straight into it. In regards to Pep Lijnders, by the sounds of it, we are holding concrete talks with him. There's apparently a snag which meant that because if he then takes the job at Norwich, the 2 years wage that he was getting off Salzburg would have to be forfeited. And I imagine they were paying him more than what Norwich would pay him. So that was a potential snag, but nothing kind of definitive yet. But a lot of reports saying that the interest in Pep Lijnders is pretty solid. The other one was around Gary O'Neill. So Gary O'Neill, according to reports today, is supposedly potentially ruling himself out. He's taking his time. He's not too interested in taking a job right now, as there's so many championship clubs about that he could go to. So I think it's now just a case of him taking his time to evaluate all options. It may still be Norwich, but there's been no kind of concrete links to us and him, I think, because he got sacked from a team that was close to relegation, obviously a former Norwich player. It makes sense for him to be rumoured with the job, but as of yet, there is nothing kind of concrete there. The two names that have popped up recently, you have the German Christian Titz, who has been managing in the Bundesliga 2. And then you also have Brian Priske, the Danish manager, who has been looking after Feyenoord this year in the Eredivisie. In regards to Feyenoord, I believe they were second top goal scorers. They had the third best defence in the league. They finished third as well, which secured them Europa League. They had their Champions League campaign was okay. They had some really good results in there, but in regards to the reason why he was sacked, a statement was released from the club saying that they had seen no structural improvements, that the chemistry was lacking, and the inconsistent results were all part of the reason why he got the boot. Now, in my opinion, obviously, he comes with kind of a good pedigree if he's been managing the Champions League. He secured Europa League in the Eredivisie, falling just off second place for the Champions League spot, which are all good bonus, kind of good points to have, especially if he was to drop into the Championship. What I would say is that the structural improvements hadn't been seen, which is a slight red flag for myself, and the lack of chemistry as well, which Norwich released their video of behind the scenes, and I think a lot of us have seen the video where Thorup is trying to G up the players, ask them about how they feel that the top six is achievable, and a lot of them basically said they didn't think it was, or was just silent, and Thorup had to call them out on it. To me, that already shows a lack of chemistry there in the club, and it's slightly worrying that a manager that finishes third in the Eredivisie supposedly hasn't done that. Obviously, the club are going to protect themselves, so we can't take it as gospel, and it could be other reasons behind the scenes that he was relieved of his duties. But again, as I said, the pedigree is there. It does look like he plays like a 4-3-3, sometimes a 4-2-3-1 formation. So we have got players that have played that kind of system before. But in all honesty, I'm not 100% sure I see this one happening. I think he may get interest maybe from other clubs on the continent. I don't know. If you've managed in Champions League, would you be happy to take a step down at the Championship? I know he was linked with a move to the Greek League, which now has, I believe, Rafa Benitez has taken that spot, or is going to take that spot. I would say that was maybe Olympiacos, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So there is clearly interest around him, but I could see him going to another club that maybe has European football, whether that's Conference League, whether that's Europa League. I think if you play, or if you manage the Champions League and then you've got a club into the Europa League spots, you probably think your stock is European football. So, yeah, potentially don't see that one happening, but we'll wait and see on that one. Next, we have Christian Titz. So he is or was the Magdeburg manager, who are sitting in the Bundesliga 2. He's been there for, I believe, around about 4.5 years. He won the 3rd division in Germany, and he's kind of cemented them into the 2nd division in Germany. And yeah, by all intents and purposes, he's done a really good job there. We actually played them in a friendly, I think it was last year. We played them in a friendly, and they looked decent, to be fair. I'll be honest, I can't remember loads of the game, but I do remember watching it and me thinking that they looked an alright, tidy side, considering they're in the Bundesliga 2. But obviously you can't look too much into pre-season friendlies. In regards to the formation that he plays, it looks an absolute minefield. If you go on any websites, it looks like a 4-3-3-1-3. I think logically that maybe looks to be then a 3 at the back, with then attacking either fullbacks or left and right midfielders, and potentially a diamond in the midfield as well. But yeah, I'll be totally honest, these rumours basically have come from German sources saying that he is getting a lot of interest within the Championship. As previously mentioned, there's a lot of squads looking for a new manager, so Norwich potentially will be one of those. We've obviously had recent kind of rumours, or previous rumours now kind of put to bed around other managers we are interested in, or potentially interested in. Will Still's obviously going to Southampton. Russell Martin looks like he's set to go to Leicester as well. But there are still plenty of clubs out there, with Thorpe potentially going to QPR. You've still got us, West Brom and Hull all looking for managers. So when kind of reporters and sources are saying that there are multiple Championship squads looking into them, that is still potentially including us, potentially not. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. I still think we'll probably hear maybe the end of next week. I can't see it being maybe too soon, but I am recording this midday on Thursday. This will obviously go up Thursday, so it could all be sorted by the end of the week. Who knows? But leave a comment down below. Do any of those new names interest you? Would you still prefer to have Pep Linders in? Would you still prefer to have Gary O'Neill? Liam Manning is still on the market potentially. Obviously he's not left Bristol, but still a lot of strong rumours linking him, and a lot of kind of journalists saying that might be his next move. I can't call it either way there, but we'll wait and see on that one. But yeah, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, comment who you'd like to see as the new manager, and we will see you in the next update.